Stay within that sensation. Don't let it get into the body. Stay within that sensation. That's it. Yeah. So this is the genius method or the hack that the old masters and Mark has figured out to make fullness happen. Mark's method of expanding the consciousness of whatever the field that you have to encompass all of space surrounding you and encompasses you and within you, and then become it, is one of the quickest ways that I know how to develop fullness in a fashion where it is a principle, not a particular mechanism.
Listen to me now.
So one of the questions that keep coming up is how do I develop fullness? So fullness is a concept that is used in many different internal integrated movement modalities, and what they mean by the fullness within a particular system or a method or an art can be very specific to that particular art or system or method. So one of the fundamental principles of fullness is the idea of release or releasing or letting go. So the idea of this is actually fundamental to most integrated movement modalities or internal arts, because release or letting go is the process of letting go of anything that doesn't help towards achieving that internal state that art is being developed to find or is supposed to maintain. So the idea is that when I move with a certain inner feel or a certain type of integration function, if something gets in the way of that, I need to be able to recognize it and let it go so that I maximize the perception that I get as integrated information from the particular integration function that I'm performing. So how do we apply this to something like Taijiquan or some internal Kung Fu type thing, right? So what I kind of want to explore right now with Paul is to be able to illustrate the difference in the physicality that happens with one of the fundamental principles of fullness, which is changing your perception or your internal experience of your own self. So for example, when we train in the internal arts or integrated movement modalities, what happens is we have these sensations of certain things that we're doing with the integration function inside our body. Now, this does not directly lead to the maximum extent of fullness. For the maximum extent of fullness, what you need to do is to catch that perception of integrated information that you get from the integration function, right? The inner feel, if you will, right? And you need to take this inner feel that you feel inside your body and free this inner feel from your notion of your body. So you've got to be able to perceive everything that you can perceive as a perturbation or a movement of this particular sensation or perception. So for example, as Mark would teach, like, one of the basic levels is that, you get the feeling of life force between your hands. You feel the life force on your body. And then once you feel that, you feel the life force in the space around you. And once you feel the life force in the space around you, you let go of the separation between the environment and you feel everything as a perturbation of this life force itself, and see how that changes my body and makes my body full. Like, say for example, if I use a modality where my body is just basically organized around the tendons like this, right? And the movement happens like this. This is inside my body, right? This movement happens inside my body now with the tendons, right? But on the other hand, if I was to perceive the sensation that I'm feeling through my tendons in the space around me, then the same movement, see, it looks very different. My joints are more open. There's more space in my body. there's no sensation of my body and the space around me. So this is what we're trying to do with a more of a Taijiquan related modality or an internal Kung Fu related modality, where we have the sensation, the inner feel of what we're feeling, and we are going to feel it inside the body and perform some physical work, so it illustrates the difference. So if I take this very low weight of 4 kilos, right, and if I go into an integrated function of my preference, right, now I have this inner sensation which represents its internal function, integration function internally, which is an inner feel, if you will, right? Now I have this in my body. Now if I release into that sensation and observe the weight move up, that's kind of sort of what it looks like, right? Now if I do the same thing, right, if I'm feeling the same sensation, here I'm feeling it inside the body, and I'm dissolving my separation with the space around me. Now I'm perceiving everything as a movement of the sensation, and if I experience the weight as a movement of that sensation moving upwards, that's how it moves. So it's a little bit different physically, right? And the only difference from the inward experience or the mechanism or the causation of it was me perceiving that sensation in my body versus letting go of the limitations of my body and perceiving everything as a perturbation of the sensation itself. So now we'll let Paul try it. Just choose any movement of your liking, mate, and so first get into the inner feel, the best you can. Whatever you're choosing, yeah?
Yep. So do it within the body at the moment?
Yeah, do it within the inner feel of the body, where you feel comfortable,
Yep.
where you feel happy, where you feel...
Yep.
Yep, keep within the inner feel. That's it. Okay, and now from here, use that inner feel, or as Mark would say, catch that frequency of that inner feel, and perceive everything that you can perceive as a shade or a perturbation within that. More. Dissolve your sense of yourself more. That's it. So don't stay within that, don't come out of it. Stay within that perception. That's it. Good, so let's apply this to a partner work setting. So if you were to stand with your feet parallel, comfortable, maybe you step, okay?
Yeah.
Yep. So if you stay with the feet parallel and comfortable, right? So maybe you put your hands up like that, right? Now, when I apply a bit of pressure to you, go to that comfortable position in your own body. Yeah. Tell me when you're there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that sensation, make everything a shade of that sensation. There's no separation between you, me, or the space. We are all just a perturbation within that. Yeah, see how it become unstable by the very nature of this, right? That's it. Now if I try to put any force onto you, you just keep maintaining that sensation. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So there, stay within that sensation. Whatever happens, stay within that sensation. And the body will do what it needs to do. Yeah, there we go. Right. So Ramsey Dewey, please debunk this. Do what I did. Teach it to your cronies so they can be masters in few hours. I'd love to see that. Don't let it get in the body. That's it. Yeah. Same thing. Incorporate the space behind you as well. That's better. That sensation. That's it. Yep. Yep. So that's the difference in perceiving the integrated information-based perception within the confines of what you think is your body versus perceiving everything as a movement within that sensation or a perturbation of that sensation or a shade of that sensation. So the sensation becomes the screen on which things are played out. Thank you very much. Hope you have good luck exploring this. Subscribe for more. Ramsey Dewey, please debunk this. Do what I did. Teach it to your cronies so they can be masters in few hours. I'd love to see that.